News on the air since 1951. This is The Legend. 105.3, 95.3, WDXE.
Yes, indeed. It's time for the Keith Durham Hour. Hey, buddy.
I thought we was the Ren and Stimpy.
Well, you are Ren and Stimpy. Ren and
Keith
Stimpy.
and Kevin
I thought
and
about
Jeff.
that. I actually thought about that this morning
You did.
early. I was getting ready. I thought they're Ren and Stimpy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Didn't they have bad teeth?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They had bad everything.
They had bad everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were quite comical though.
Oh, mate.
You idiot.
Well, I've had a pretty good week and
Yeah, we're
really an awesome week.
We're going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
What in the world has happened in your world?
Let me tell you, I got a new job,
Congratulations.
and it feels like an old job. It feels like I've been there for a long time.
I should have found that song. Well, we're moving on up.
Moving on up.
Well, baby, I'm back.
Something like that. So you went back to your old job.
Well, it's not my old job. I went back to the old place, though.
old place, yeah.
So I'm not the IT director over there anymore. I've been gone 5 years. They've hired an IT director.
Yes.
But
I can see why they do that.
I'm a projects manager over there, and so
Well, for people who don't know, tell them where that is.
that's at Edwards Oil Company
Edwards Oil Company.
and South Tennessee Oil Company, better known in this community as Quick Mart convenience stores.
Yep, that's right.
So
That's right.
do you know that more than 600 people work at Quick Mart convenience stores?
I can believe there's a bunch of them.
Yeah,
yeah.
I can absolutely believe that. It's
Yeah.
probably one of the larger employers,
That's correct.
even in the state.
Yeah, that's right. And it's just it's a day's full of work every day. I enjoy it, and listen, some of the same faces are still there. And
Yeah.
and wow, I've been really blessed. The Lord has blessed me, and that's all I can attribute it to. They've been so gracious to me there and coming back, and they even had my old desk still upstairs and my old chairs, and they were wrapped up, and I brought them down and put them in my office, and it's just like before.
How about that? They
That's
just
pretty
dusted
cool.
them off.
Yeah, just dusted them all.
That's nice.
So,
Well, good for
me.
you. You know, that's interesting. I don't know if you know, but the other day I had this old 50s modeled electric fan.
Yeah.
Did you see me post that?
No, I didn't, because I don't have nothing
You don't-
like
He
that.
don't have Facebook.
All right. You saw me
I
post
did see it, though.
I posted it up for sale. I put a picture on it and said, I'll sell it to the highest bidder at the end of the day, sometime tonight.
Yeah.
So I ended up selling it, and the guy who bought it came from Lee Company, which
Okay.
I used to work at
Right.
Lee Company years
Right.
ago. And so it ended up being somebody that I knew from there, and he came and picked it up yesterday.
Really?
That's right. How about that? I thought
You're
it
not
was
going to tell us
See-
how much you got for it? I don't want to.
$40.
$40. Well, it'd been online anyway. We could have seen it,
Yeah,
right?
everybody could
Yeah.
say it was.
Yeah.
If you had Facebook, so you could have got a fan.
It was an old Emerson.
Yeah.
Emerson electrical fan.
It was
stood
cool
about,
looking,
Stood
yeah.
about that high. It was one of them that oscillates and sits on your desk.
Yeah.
It's one of them you don't stick your
Weighs
finger in.
weighed like a boat anchor. It was
Oh, yeah.
heavy.
The bottom of it, yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, since I'm back at Quick Mart, I want to give a little plug to them right quick, and I'm going to get them to sponsor this hour. So
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Quick Mart convenience stores, unlike any other place that you go, you ever been to somebody and they ask you, do you want to donate to the whatever?
Oh, yeah. Always.
Okay. So, that's happening everywhere now. Even at restaurants, do you want to donate to this? And on the pin pad, it comes up $1 or $2 or whatever.
Right.
I'll round up. Or
Yeah. So I sort of have mixed feelings on that.
I do too.
So I'll give you, for example, you go through the line at Kroger, and I sort of have a rule of thumb, all right? And I'll tell you what my rule of thumb is. Like I'm going through the line at Kroger. This was sometime last year, and the cashier has a line that they say to every customer who comes through, would you like to donate to this? And my question is, if I donate, how much is your company donating?
Yes.
And so if their company's not donating anything, I'm not donating anything because they're just a collection point.
Right.
Right. Right.
So what makes Quick Mart different is Quick Mart gives to local organizations, and the one that the cupcake sale will start tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. And so when you buy a cupcake for whatever amount, that's a donation. When you donate money, you get a cupcake, and some stores have cupcake trees, and they may place them all around the windows. Mm-hmm. And it's a friendly competition between the stores. But here's what's neat. For every dollar you donate, the Edwards family will match that dollar.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dollar for dollar. and there is no limit. So when I was at Heritage, and the proceeds go to, let me tell you that first, in Murray County, Lawrence County, Wayne County, and Giles County, the proceeds go to a kids' place, child advocacy center right here in Lawrence County.
Yeah.
And it's sad that we have to have a facility like that. But the reality of it is that we do have a facility like that.
Yeah.
And counties around Tennessee have the facilities like that. So in all the counties that Quick Marts have a presence in, if you donate to that, they will give that money with 100% match to their local child advocacy center. So it stays right there in the community.
That's great.
So
that's awesome. That's a good thing. I had the same thing happen to me just yesterday, whenever it was. Stopped at a store. I won't mention the store's name, but I bought a few goods, and they wanted to know if I wanted to buy a toy for.
Yeah.
And it's not that you don't want to, but I mean, I do that in a different way. I don't want to do it at that store.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway,
I don't mind rounding up.
But I hate to say no when you do it. They put you in a position, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, well, you don't want to buy a toy.
Especially with people behind you,
Yeah.
You mean you don't want to buy a toy for a needy child?
What do you
Well,
mean
yeah,
you
we
don't
do.
want to buy that?
Well, just know that the cupcakes are starting tomorrow at Quick Mart, and if you donate $1, the Edwards family will match $1.
Okay.
And it's so here's what I used to do when I was at Heritage. Heritage as a company donated, so I would wait till the cupcake time, and I'd go down and donate Heritage's money at the Quick Mart store, and they matched it.
Hey, that's
$1
pretty
for
cool.
$1. So I got double the amount for our company donation. So anyway,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. So we want to have, I don't know if you guys are interested or not, but I've got a pictorial book of the Lawrence County history. And in the last couple of weeks since I've been off work, I've got to drive around and look at some things. And I found this book. Somebody had given me this book a couple of years ago. And Kevin, you may want to scoot around and see some pictures, or Jeff, you might want to share the pictures with us. Mm-hmm. And
I sold this house.
oh, you did?
I did.
So that was Bid Lindsay's old
That
house.
was a Lindsay house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's,
before that, it was one of the oldest houses in Lawrenceburg.
yeah.
Yeah.
Across from the Presbyterian Church down there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to take a metal detector in that yard.
You think you'd find something?
So
Yeah, that's a pre-Civil War house.
yeah, so I don't know if you can keep it. I'm going to get you to turn to different pages.
Oh,
We're going
okay.
to reminisce a little bit
Okay.
today.
All right.
Well, we just want to have sort of a felicitous conversation today, if we could. And
What did you say?
what? What?
What did you say?
Have a felicitous conversation about
That was our word today. You were listening, weren't you?
Oh, no. He uses that word all the time.
I caught you.
I was wondering if y'all were listening.
I caught you.
Sometimes I feel like I say things and you guys don't listen.
No, I caught you on that.
Oh, me.
That was funny.
We are-
Jeff had to take a step back.
We are
there.
complete.
What'd you say?
Listen, all I'm going to say is that we are completely capable of having a felicitous conversation. That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
me.
Oh wow! I want this book. Where did this? Is this a new book?
So that was printed in 2017. It was for the bicentennial of Lawrence County. Lawrence County was
I
founded in
remember this.
1817, and that was in 2017. And there's some look
sure.
on the back right there. I didn't notice that, but on
I'm not sure. I'm going to try to hold it up here. I'm not sure if our camera's picking it up, but I'll try to pick it up where it can be picked up. But there it is, Lawrence County, Tennessee, pictorial history, right there. That's neat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe you can get those down at the archives.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a good gift for somebody that's a history buff,
Yeah.
there's a series of these books that have been made. And Clint Alley may have some of his books down there too. I'm not sure, but I believe I got that one from the archives. I was still mayor when I got that book. But I've got some pages written down that I want you to flip to, and we're going to talk about some things and see if you guys have ever seen these places, or
Okay.
some of the places that we're going to look at are gone, but some of them are still there in different capacities now.
Yes.
And maybe our listeners might know also, and that's what I'm trying to solicit, is if you're listening in and you hear us talking about something or something that maybe we didn't talk about, you can call in and say, hey, you remember this place?
Yeah, 766-9393 if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first one, turn to page 14 right there, Jeff, in this
Page
book.
14.
And for the folks that are listening, this is a pictorial of the history of Lawrence County. It was published in 2017. And so there you go. On page 14, the bottom of it right there, that's the old Laurel Hill Cotton Mill. Did you know there was no cotton mill at Laurel Hill?
No, I had no idea.
So at one time, that community out there was one of the largest communities in Lawrence County. And this back in Civil War times, and there's still remnants of that facility there.
Laurel Hill Cotton Manufacturing Company was the largest cotton mill in Lawrence County. Laurel Hill Road, northwest corner of Lawrence County, just off the old Natchez Trace. It was built in 1850.
Yeah.
1850.
Pre-Civil War.
Cotton yarn and shearing were the main products.
I'd always heard that they
I'm
made...
sorry, sheeting.
Sheeting, okay.
Yeah, were the main products. Closed in the 1920s.
Wow. So if you do you know how to get there? Have you ever seen that place?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
So let me
never
tell
heard
you
of
how to get there. This is real. It's real convoluted, but it's so the only way that I know how to get there. Well, you can go out CC Road and come in onto Laurel Hill and go across the Little Buffalo and park and walk up the creek and you can see. But if you want to go on an expedition one day, let's do it because I love going there. But this was a little bit further up the hill, the mill itself. But
Okay.
there's an old dam down there and an old water, and it's unbelievable. It's out in the middle of the woods, and it's hand stacked stone, and there's hand dug flumes all the way through the woods that lead up to where this mill was. And if you didn't know it was there, you'd never see it.
So there's not a road to this facility. There's
Sort
not a
of.
road there anymore.
So let me tell you. Let me tell you how to get there. So, you know how to get to Laurel Hill Lake, right?
Sure.
Keep going past Laurel Hill Lake. When you're don't pull into the entrance of Laurel Hill Lake. Keep going past it.
Okay.
All right. So when you get up to the trace, go under the trace. Take the right hand fork and go under the trace. The very next road to the right is called Jack's Branch Road.
Okay.
You go out Jack's Branch Road about 4 miles, and it turns back under the trace.
Okay.
All right. When you get under the trace, that's Artemis Lane. You take a left, and you get on the old trace. It's an old pebble road, and it's I don't know if it's paved, but it looks like it's just packed pebble road.
Yeah.
And that's part of the old trace. You turn right on that, and then the road sort of forks down there, and it turns into a dirt road. Well, that's Laurel Hill Road, and there's a graveyard right there.
Okay.
The old Laurel Hill graveyard is there. That's where the Laurel Hill community was.
Okay.
And so as you're dropping off of that hill on the left-hand side, there's an open field that you can see. They got a rope up, but you can park and walk out there. And the remnants of that building are still there. There's bricks all over the place and stuff like that.
It was a large building.
Oh, it was huge. Yeah, it was huge. And then up in the woods on the right-hand side of the road is where the I guess it was a dam or something because the old timbers you can still see the old timbers going across the Little Buffalo River there.
Yeah.
And when you get there, it's it's like a flume. It's like a stacked stone on both sides. And so Chester McConnell, I don't know if you guys remember Chester McConnell.
I never the name.
So Chester worked for the Corps of Engineers, and he was the person that was in charge of acquiring all the acreage for Laurel Hill out there. And Chester lived out there until here recently. He moved to Mobile, Alabama, and he sold his farm out there. It's on Wildwoods Lane. He sold it to somebody in Washington, D.C., but he put that in a conservation easement. They can't even cut a tree off of it. I mean,
really?
Yeah, and it's in for perpetuity or whatever you want to call it. So he said that when he was exploring that area, I'm sure he'd done this in the late 60s or 70s, and it had already been grown up and everything. He said when he was exploring that area and purchasing the property for the Corps of Engineers, that he said, I thought I come upon some Inca ruins out there or something. Because really, that's what it looks like. You're out in the middle of the woods, out in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden, here's this big stone structure. And if you guys want to see it one day, or somebody wants to go down
let's
there,
do it.
Listen, you got to hike a little bit, and it's not uphill or anything.
We'll take the 4-wheeler.
No, you can't do that because it's too grown up. So
Well, go clean us a path.
So here's the deal. So you can
Get your
ride
4-wheeler.
You can ride 4-wheelers. I don't know if you knew this or not, but you can ride 4-wheelers at Laurel Hill.
Yeah.
But you have to stay on the road. But you have to have the high impact permit to do that. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
Yeah. So you can ride horses out there, and you have to. I think you have to have a horse riding permit. But there's a high impact permit that you have to have.
What's
to
a
ride.
high impact?
I don't know.
What is a high impact permit?
I don't
That's
know.
new to me.
Yeah, but look it up.
High impact permit.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
We don't.
So
High impact for what?
I don't know. Somebody may know that and call in, but that's.
Is it environmental?
Maybe it's high impact.
I
on
think
the
it's just like a
environment.
permit to ride your 4-wheeler around.
Well, yeah,
I don't understand why they call it
your
a high
4-wheeler
impact.
impacts the environment highly, I guess.
I don't know. I
Or
guess.
packs the road down. I don't know.
So
I got a hunting license.
they got a hunting license, but and I may be saying it wrong. I have to look it up, but I believe it's a high impact permit. You have to
Okay.
have. in order to ride your four-wheelers out there. And I don't know who
But you said
enforces
you had to
it.
stay on the road. So
Well, that's
we could-
interesting. I just don't know. I know American history pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't really know a lot of Lawrence County history.
Well, I don't either, but the books like this really help out.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. So turn to page 16. Page 16.
16.
Here's something that everybody in here would have remembered. It hadn't been gone too long. You'll see a picture of the Barnett Motor Company there. Do you remember that place?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that I do remember.
Yeah, so
the
it's-
Barnett, it's funny. That's so funny. I sold that place.
Did you? Hey, I picked these properties on purpose, Jeff. This is a plug for you.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, there. If you can see it, I don't know if anybody. I don't know how this is going to work with the camera we got, but the old Barnett Motor Company on the southeast corner of East Gaines and First Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, right going down the hill toward the football field.
Yeah, right next to the David Crockett
Oh,
Motel.
okay.
And they had the Studebakers.
That's it, Studebakers.
Used to be a half-round building.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
one of those dome top or
Yeah.
whatever.
When I was a kid, they'd have a mini bike too every once in a while there.
Yeah.
And boy, I always wanted one.
Man, yeah.
So I always heard there was a cave on that property. Is there a cave there that you know of?
Not that I know of.
I've never heard that.
So I don't know.
Not
Like in
that
the
I-
basement?
No, like I think they covered it up going down that hill, because that is on a pretty steep slope
Yeah.
there, and I always heard that on the bottom of that slope was a cave, but they may have covered it up.
Yeah, well, as far as I know, it's covered up because when we sold the property, the building was gone.
Okay.
I sold it at a time later in years when the building had already been gone, and the family wanted to sell it at that point, or whoever had it, and so we sold the lot there.
Yeah.
And but the building had been gone, and there wasn't a cave there that I remember. So.
Well, maybe it's cave.
But I do remember the old Barnett Motor Company. That's cool.
Yeah.
I remember the old cars. That was neat. They was like showroom cars still in the building.
Oh yeah.
You know, it must have no.
I think
See, I
I
don't
think there's
remember
one or
having
two
cars.
I think there's one or two of those Studebakers still around locally.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
And then the backyard was full of old cars. Of course, we would explore all that. Of course, I was a kid, and I don't remember exactly what everything
See, I
was.
always thought it was just like a junkyard back there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it was all grown up. I mean.
And then he had a shed. He had a shed down there. He had some cars in a shed down there.
Interesting.
Hey, before we get too far, since we talked about caves, and I was going to mention this at Laurel Hill. So on my trip to Laurel Hill the other day, and to look where that cotton gin was, if you keep on going around the corner and then drop, and you go to the top of the next hill, and you drop off. I don't know which direction it is, but you take a right and you drop off another hill. There's a place down there called Rock House. Have you ever been there? Rock House is a cave up in a cliff. It's a series of caves in the cliff, and I have never seen that in my life. And they've got the road mark now where it says Rock House.
Really?
Yeah, and if you drive down there, be careful because it's tough turning around. But it's I don't think you can.
Where is this again?
This
now?
is in Laurel Hill at Laurel
At
Hill.
the Laurel Hill
Yeah.
place?
There is so much to explore down there.
I've been.
Yeah, I just thought it was a lake out there.
I've gone riding
Oh
around.
no, there's 17,000 acres
Yeah,
out
I know,
there.
but
I've gone riding around on the roeds in the Laurel Hill
yeah.
management area.
I can
but
get
I've never-
lost. Like
Yeah.
you get turned around. I think I'm heading this way, and I'll come out. I'm like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
The GPS don't even work.
No.
up there.
No, your phone don't either. So,
No.
so let me tell you the story. Back in 2015, I believe, the Babe Ruth World Series was here, and
Yes.
there was the last year that they allowed teams to stay at people's houses, and we housed two guys from the California team who won the World Series that year.
Okay, good.
So, they live in L.A., so they had never seen a dirt road in their life. They're like, well, we've heard about dirt roads. So, we're playing it up a little bit. So, hey, let's go snake hunting. And so,
You didn't take them snap hunting?
no, we took them snake hunting.
Snake
And they said, how you do that? I said, we just ride down the road and then we'll stop every time we see a snake. So anyway, we're out Laurel Hill riding around, and this black car gets on our bumper. And when you're ever out in Laurel Hill riding around, you're pretty much by yourself.
That's right.
And this black car gets on our bumper. It's got the windows tinted. And I thought, what in the world? I've got these two guys out here. And we're going. So anyway, I pulled over and the car pulls up and rolls the window down. And it was some of their teammates. They're out there lost.
You know what I thought he was going to say? They rolled the window down and go, "Pardon me.
Do you have any Grey
Do you have any
Poupon?
Grey Poupon?"
All right, hey, we've been trying to get a hold of you about your car warranty.
Pretty much. I pretty much thought that was what you
Yeah,
said.
no, but they're like Kevin. They've been riding around out there. They were lost as a goose.
Hey, man, yeah.
They said somebody told us it was real neat to ride around out here, and it was like,
Yeah, it's real neat until you realize you don't know where you're at.
yeah. Wow.
When I get lost, I just stay on the road till I see something I recognize.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I just keep going. And you'll run up on somebody on a horse. It's like, well, where did they come from? There's got to be something close around here.
If you're ever looking for me, and I'm usually out there, I've got a sun drop and a honey bun, and I'm riding around.
There you go. That's good
you
stuff.
know all the roads and the short. You like the Dukes of Hazzard, ain't you?
Yeah, yeehaw!
You can outrun the law out there.
All right, so on page 17 is something you're going to remember.
17.
Bottom corner down there, Blue Ribbon Cafe.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
The old Blue Ribbon.
The old Blue Ribbon Cafe, where I guess
You sold it too.
I didn't sell it. Yeah, I do remember the old Blue Ribbon
I
Cafe.
remember eating at the Blue Ribbon Cafe.
There used to, of course, the Blue Ribbon was, before my time and during my time.
Yeah.
Okay, because it'd been there years when I got up old enough to remember going there.
Yeah. I think did
it
Jim
was,
Brewer's mom and dad own that or
I
something?
think that's correct.
Okay.
I think that's right. I could be wrong, but I think it was Jim Brewer's family or mother and dad or somebody.
Yeah. Did you have to be a certain political party to eat there? Wasn't there like it was sort of like Ledbetter's. There's always politics going on in that place.
Oh yeah, my memories of it was, my dad would take me there sometimes, and they would meet up with a whole bunch of cattle traders.
Okay.
Benton Harrell would be in there sometimes, if you remember him.
Yep.
Bryant's would be in there. Mr. Old Man Bryant. Who else? Richard Yates. They were cattle traders and all that. It's horse traders, whatever. One of my vivid memories of being there is Benton Harrell brought in a whole big, huge, looked like a 2-gallon jar of shucked raw oysters, and they set them on the table.
Oh, really?
And hot sauce and crackers, and ate them.
and
and ate them out of that jar.
Might have been a first for Lawrence County. You never know.
Jar. So anyway, I didn't indulge in that.
You know what I remember about Ben Harrell? He had a camel color coat and some earth shoes.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Earth shoes.
Yeah,
Okay.
earth shoes.
Very good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a gathering spot for a lot of folks, and of course, a good restaurant way back when.
Yeah.
I think my Aunt Helen actually was a waitress there back when I was really, really small.
See, I can't remember ever going in there
I was
myself.
little.
Yeah, one time, real young, went in there, and it was still the Blue Ribbon Cafe, and it may have been different owners or whatever. But I also remember, they turned it into the Chinese restaurant.
Oh, okay.
For a while there.
Whatever happened to Gondola House? They sort of kept the decor of the building, but they turned it into a doctor's office. But
Yeah.
You remember that?
I do remember. I went a time or two.
Yeah. Well,
was that?
We didn't eat out much back in those days.
No,
Everybody ate at home,
hey.
and it was a delicacy to eat out.
Oh yeah, it was a big deal.
So my question is the check cashing place down there next to Walgreens, is that the old Blue Ribbon Cafe, or is it gone?
I think it was part of Walgreens parking area.
Okay, so
it was right in that corner, pretty close. Walgreens consumed where the Blue Ribbon was.
Okay.
It was pretty close.
And
to
before
the corner.
Walgreens, there was a Chinese restaurant, whatever kind of restaurant, and then it was a gas station for a while.
Yeah, I don't think it was right on the corner, but it was just
right. The gas station was on the corner.
Yeah.
No, there was a convenience store there. Cause
it was a Citgo. I remember that.
Yeah, because the guy, the people who had the Chinese restaurant when they moved up here, they turned that property into a gas station, and he ran that
for a short.
right next door.
Yeah, right next. Well,
listen, for a short period of time, that old Blue Ribbon restaurant was a Mexican restaurant.
So I don't remember that.
It was, yeah.
There was a.
Wow, y'all got great memories.
I forgot about that.
Before it was done away with, there was a Mexican restaurant in there. I think it might have been the first one in Lawrenceburg.
It had to be.
Might have been the very first Mexican restaurant in Lawrenceburg.
Could have been. Wow. Because I know the Chinese couple put a Mexican restaurant in at the OPX. Yeah. It was a restaurant for a while because I
don't remember that being a restaurant.
I kind of forgot about that.
It was hilarious because we walked in there and here she is, the Chinese lady who was down at the Chinese restaurant. And how many there'll be?
Yeah,
it was like, wait a minute.
Well, do you know since you've gone back to work for Edwards Oil, and you will know this, where the first Quick Mart was?
Where the dry cleaners is?
Where the dry cleaners is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That building's that's still the same building.
Yeah,
they just redid it.
Yeah.
Exactly but that's where the first Quick Mart store actually.
I believe it was. I believe it was Quick Mart number 4, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. They're not numbered in sequence.
Oh,
So somebody knows.
Yeah.
They're calling in.
Call in and tell you.
Hey, good morning. You're on WDXE with us.
Jeff,
Yes.
I believe you're getting that Chinese restaurant and the gondola house I heard Kevin talking about mixed up. They said it was at the Blue Ribbon. That was up there where Dr. Shaw's office was. That was right up the street there a little bit.
Was it?
Yeah.
Now you talk.
That's where the gondola house and a Chinese restaurant was, or a Mexican restaurant for a while.
Now the Blue Ribbon building was a Mexican restaurant at one time, wasn't it?
Well, I don't remember that, but it could have been. But now I know they had one up there, Dr. Shaw's office.
Dr. Shaw's office. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay.
All right,
Lanny-
thank you.
All right, thank you, Lanny.
All right.
Very good.
There you go.
Well,
Well, he would know.
he would know.
Yeah. It might have been, well, I ain't eating there. So,
Listen, we're at what is it? 8:31.
Yeah.
and we've done 2 pages so far.
all right,
We're
yeah, and
flying through
I've
this,
got
ain't
about
we?
10 things on the list. So the next one is on page 20 there.
Page 20.
And I don't remember this building. I remember the new building, and the new building's still there. It's the Frosty Drive-In across from Duncan's Market.
I do remember that.
So you remember the old building? You're looking at the picture of the
Wait a
old
minute. Wait a
building
minute.
there, right?
Wait a minute. Frosty Drive-In, northwest corner of North Military and 7th Street. Yeah, I do remember that.
See, I think that's wrong. Military doesn't have a 7th Street.
It's not North Military. It's North Locust.
Yes, North Locust and 7th.
It's North Locust and 7th. That's just a misprint on this thing. But, you know, that, of course, the building that's there now.
That's the new one. I
the
remember
new
them
building.
building what I consider to be the new building.
I don't.
40 years old
I
now.
barely remember this building at all. I don't think I would have remembered it without seeing the picture. But the newer building was there, and it was the Frosty too.
Yeah, I mean, it was Frosty when it was first built, and I remember going into that one, but I don't remember the old building though.
Right there beside Duncan's. Right there.
So here's another one that's page 25.
Page 25.
Yeah,
okay.
page 25. And a lot of people will remember this because it was an icon in our community for a long time. The Oneida Cassette Grain and Implement Company. Remember those silos that was up on 4th Street there?
Yeah.
2 of the buildings are still there.
Yeah. What page?
I've got 25, page 25. Did I tell you wrong?
There it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking right at it. Okay.
Yeah. look for the silos.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah, I do remember those.
Yeah.
I mean, they were around for a long, long time.
Yeah, they were the tallest things in town forever, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You could see them forever. And that one of their buildings was where the Steve Williams used car lot is now. Stevie Williams' car lot is. And so,
Did they have buildings on that side?
yeah, you can see it right there in the picture too.
Oh, yeah, they did have that. Now, that I don't know that I remember that building, but on the other side, where the doctor's offices are.
That's
now.
right.
I do remember that being Nita Cassess is right there forever. But I don't remember that other building right there.
And they tore the silos down. So the silos were here for a long time. I wonder what year they tore those down because it had to be nice.
Ask your buddy Josh Pollock.
He would know.
He's the one that done it.
He tore them down?
That's what he said the other day on the radio.
I didn't know that.
Go in there and ask him.
Oh, here's somebody knows.
Let's see. Hey,
Said
good morning. You're on the air with us.
I'm sorry to bother y'all again, Jeff. That building across the street there from Nita Cassess, where the doctor's office is, was A&PT Company for years, a supermarket. I worked there in high school a couple of years.
Before it was Nita Cassess?
Yes.
Okay.
Before it was Nita Cassess.
Oh, see.
When A&P closed, Nita Cassess bought it.
Are you about what? How old are you, Lanny? 200?
Well, I'm 80, going on 92.
Well, just get in the car and come on down here. It's been easier than you just having a call every time.
Next time we're gonna have you in here with
There you
us.
go.
I'd love that.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I'd love that. I love it.
I figured he was tired from working all night.
What, Lanny?
Yeah.
What do you do?
He had posted on Facebook he's every night having to go out there and get his hockey off the road and for his new business that y'all got started. Are you not helping him none?
Listen, he won't let nobody help him.
You can't do it right, can you?
Especially on rainy days.
Well, he says he has to get it to wash it off.
He's energized by that.
Oh, yeah.
Turn to page 27. Here's something that I don't remember, but when I'm talking to folks, Lanny, you'll remember this. The old Redwood Inn restaurant.
Yeah, I don't remember, but everybody talks about it.
Redwood Inn restaurant. Now that from the description there, Jeff, it says it's about where Yogi's car wash is up there now, next to Hardee's. Is that right?
That don't sound right.
You know where the old Mile Crossing barbershop used to be, where Huck used to cut hair across the street from Shorty's car lot?
It's near Robbins.
Yeah. So Robbins empties out on the highway there, right there at Hardee's.
Just off Robbins. It was on North Locust Avenue, just off Robbins. Was it on the east or west side of the highway?
I don't know. Here we go.
We're gonna get some help.
Yeah, we got to have some help here.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Redwood Inn was right where Yogi's car wash is.
Okay.
Before they built the Hardee's over there, that was just a growed-up field, old woods.
All right. Well, listen, you gonna stay with just stay with us.
The reason I remember it so well, when I was young and stupid, I went around it sideways in my car.
That's what I just gonna say. Wasn't it a turnaround point?
In fact, I met my wife sitting in front of Redwood Inn.
Well,
ask Lanny what could you get to eat at the Redwood Inn?
What did you get to eat there?
Oh, anything. It was just an order. That was a good restaurant.
Yeah.
Francis Chapman running.
Now, when did they move it? Wasn't it one near where David Crockett Park entrance was?
No, that's Parkway.
Yes, that was Smith. Let's see,
Dairy Dip.
Bobby Smith and his uncle built that.
Okay.
Clifford.
But it wasn't the Redwood Inn. It was something else.
Parkway.
No, it was Crockett.
Was it Parkway?
Parkway, I believe was the name of it.
All right, very good. Well, listen, you just hang on because we fix to talk about another one.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next thing is on that same page. You see Red Ace there. So when I was growing up cruising the Strip, we would always say, "Got to go get some gas at Red Ace."
Yeah.
And the reason I stopped at that picture is there's something going on in that picture. Every 53 days, they gave away a 53 Plymouth or something. Or what was that?
Hey, do you know anything about that, Landy? Red Ace giving away a 53 Plymouth?
I don't remember that.
What does the sign say? Does it say Plymouth?
It says free every 53 days, a 53 Plymouth.
Yeah.
Well,
what the heck?
I never knew that.
How about that? Red Ace gas station on the west side of North Locust, diagonally across from 7th Street.
It's pretty close to where you're at now, Jeff. Just right across from Duncan's there.
Yeah.
It stood for a long time, and then
I remember the Red Ace being there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I remember the Red Ace being there. I don't need to tell. Never mind.
don't get yourself in trouble
now. I didn't go around it sideways.
Like some people.
I might have slid in there.
All right, go to page 30. Lanny will remember this, and this is going to be funny right here.
On page 30, what are we looking at?
So the Springer Tourist Court over next to the library.
Oh, yeah.
So those buildings are still there.
Yes.
The Springer Tourist Court over on East Gaines, Landy. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they tried to sell those buildings and they couldn't be moved. Let's see. I think they finally tore them down, didn't they?
No, they're there.
No, they're still there.
Are they still there?
Still there?
I know they had an auction one time and tried to sell those buildings for somebody to move them.
Yeah.
And they couldn't be moved for some way that's built.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably
Very
made
good.
a block or something, but the old Philpott meter lab there, where Cliff Philpott has his place, that was the office for those.
That's still there.
It's still there, and then there are 3 buildings out there between that and the car lot. They're still there, and they had a similar out on the west end of town, out at Crockett Market. There were some buildings behind it too, but they did get tore down.
How about that? Lodging for a night, a restful sleep, it says.
Who's it recommended by?
And
That's what's
recommended by, I don't know.
Duncan Hines.
Duncan Hines. It's not Duncan. Is that Duncan Hines?
Yeah, recommended by Duncan Hines.
All right, that's what it says. Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, population 5,000.
Boy, that's a bunch.
Wow.
That's what it says. All right, very good. What's next, brother?
Next is page 34. And this building is still there, and Lanny may remember going here. It's the Dairy Dip.
Oh, the Dairy Dip.
So, Lanny, the Dairy Dip is now I believe it's a Mexican grocery store.
Oh, the one beside Schaefer's.
No, you
Taco Bell?
you up too far.
I'm up too far.
The Dairy Dip was right where Bobby Morgan's car lot was.
Okay, so yeah.
You know where the new car wash is? I mean, a new laundromat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right next door, Bobby Morgan's car lot. That's where the dairy dip was.
Well, what
Really?
what was where the Mexican grocery store is?
That was a barbecue place at one time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It
right.
was.
Been barbecue.
was.
There was a pool hall at one time. It's been a little bit.
I don't know what it was originally, but I think it was a barbecue place. At one
It
time.
was sit down.
It was a restaurant.
Yeah.
I can't remember the lady's name that run it, but I drank coffee every day there.
How about that? How about that?
Lanny, do you have any money left? Lanny, you ate out a whole lot and drank a lot of coffee.
No, I always spend. I spend every.
That's what they made money for, was to spend it.
That's exactly right. Cause they gonna make some more while we sleeping tonight.
Lanny,
And all that horse hockey money coming in. So
Oh man, I've been working myself to death.
see, I told y'all.
Scooped up at night before they wash it off.
yeah. You know, the most important thing when you're in the horse hockey business is keep your fingernails clipped. You don't want to take anything.
It don't taste
under-
good with a sandwich, does
You
it?
don't want anything under your fingernails.
No, you don't.
Oh, me. Hey, Laney, if you don't have a book like this, you need to come borrow this book and look through it. You
I would love to. I would love to look through that.
I'm going to get one.
yeah. So because there's so many things. The next one is on page 69, and it's
Oh, it's way over.
it's way over. So they have like sections on. When you get this book, there's a section on just old businesses that used to be in town. There's churches, there's family, there's military, and schools.
Different communities and stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Laurel Hills in there.
Yeah, there's stuff in Loretta and stuff like that, but it's stuff I'm not familiar with and
Right.
really couldn't talk about.
All right. On 69, what are we looking at?
69, there is it's called the T.H. Meredith House. T.H. Meredith House. You see that?
Yeah, that's the bottom.
Yeah, that house is still there today.
I sold that house too.
Are you serious?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I actually did.
So, if you were in the backyard of that house, the backyard of that house backs up to Russell Avenue, and I grew up on Russell Avenue. Well, until I was in first grade.
Yeah. Now that's this house here is south of the square.
That's right.
South of the square back there. T.H. Meredith House. That's not what I knew it by.
We knew it by the Gladish House.
It's the Gladish House is what I knew it by.
Yeah.
And man, that's an interesting old place.
Oh, I'd love to go in. I lived behind it for years, and that thing was in our front door for years.
Hang on a second. Hey, Lanny, turn your radio down just a little bit. You may have to listen on the phone.
How's that?
That's better.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah. The Gladish House, and
Do you know where that's at, Lanny?
Do I?
you know where the Gladish House is, Lanny?
Oh yeah, that's where when we was in the 4-H club, we'd all meet to go to camp every year.
Oh, really?
That was agriculture and 4-H building.
Huh.
That house.
Really? That's a
Yes.
That's a big old house.
It is a big old house. That office is all in it.
Yeah. Well, it's a home now, and Lanny, I had the privilege of selling that estate, the Gladish estate, several years ago. You may remember we had a big tent, big sale, sold a lot of stuff, and we found some. They had a cotton gin,
Yeah.
and there was some of his advertisement and memorabilia that was still around that we had, and I've got
Still in there.
I still have, and I've got one of the old billfolds that he used to give away.
Oh, I'll be dog.
And it says, "We ain't mad at nobody." That was his slogan.
Why? Because they always frowned or something?
That was his slogan. We ain't mad at nobody.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because, when I lived there, we thought they were mean people.
You thought they was mad, didn't you?
Well, I guess we only knew his daughters. I think that his daughters may have lived there for years.
it was
or
always
something.
mysterious to me.
Yeah.
But now, can't think of her name at the moment, but it's Brad Slater's daughter and her husband had bought that.
Oh,
house.
okay.
Yeah.
So we lived in a little house right in behind that house on 404 Russell Avenue. It's still there today, a little white house. And we had a Rambler. And I can remember my brother got in that car and pulled that Rambler out of gear, and it rolled into that field. So there's an open field right next to that house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I can remember it
That's a
rolling out of the
grand old
driveway.
place. It's beautiful on the inside.
So my mama and grandpa lived right across the field from
Hey,
it.
Lanny, I'm gonna have to hang up with you and get another call.
That's good. Go ahead. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. You're on WDXE with us.
the ASC office and where the 4-H offices was in that house just a block south of the square where I don't know what you call that building now.
Yeah.
The big house, 2-story house there on the corner.
Oh, the Garrett house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Garrett's house.
Okay.
That's where the ASC offices and the 4-H offices were when I remember.
Okay.
All right, so Lanny might be confused on where this house is then.
Yeah. He may be. I couldn't tell about that other, but I always, the Gladys house was always been a residence as far as I know.
It was when I lived there in the 70s.
Yeah, it's back on another hill.
But you're talking about the Garrett house okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's interesting. That's why you get folks together to kind of reminisce on this stuff and figure it out.
So one of the, that was just I wanted to talk about that because, that was, I don't know, growing up, they were the rich people in the neighborhood, I was like, wow, they got a big house and it was awesome.
And you thought they was mean.
Well, I mean,
or mysterious.
If you ever got in their field, they'd holler at you and get out of your field or, stuff like that.
You kids get off my lawn.
Or maybe that was just my mom saying, you better get out of the field, they're going to get on to you.
That sounds like something my mom would do.
Yeah.
Get out of your yard.
So
interesting.
The next thing I got on is a little bit different spin. Page 92. I had never heard of this, and you may have heard of this. It's a place called Terrytown.
I have heard of Terrytown.
Down on Lou Johns Road.
Now,
I have no clue where Lou Johns Road is, but I'm fixing to drive down
90
there.
what?
92.
92.
So read the caption under Terrytown. I had never heard of that in my life that I know of.
I've heard of somebody had a group on Facebook here for a while about all the Lawrence County, and they'd put Terrytown.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
So I don't have Facebook. So
I read up on this not too long ago, but Terrytown was the dream of Gordon Terry. Was to be a country music theme park.
Mm-hmm. Mini Opryland.
Yeah, it was, and they had a lot of people that came. I mean, famous names you'd recognize.
Big country music stars come.
It was located in the southern Lawrence County on Lou Johns Road. Among those who played there were Johnny Cash, George Jones, Roy Acuff, Kitty Wells, Loretta Lynn, Ernest Tubb, and others.
Really?
Back when they used to do the big bus tours, they'd all get on a bus and
crowds of over 10,000 people would attend there sometimes. How about that?
Wow.
Let's see. It opened in May of 1964. And Ralph Emery was there. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Oh, Ralph Emery.
Jeff, I went to a concert down there. They had concerts in Terrytown back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw Jerry Lee Lewis down there one Sunday night.
There you go.
Good
Killer.
So there's, people of that caliber have been.
They had a lot of good concerts down there.
Oh, yeah. It was a big deal. It was a big deal.
Okay, thank
you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a huge deal at one time.
So read through that list of names again. Those are all
Johnny Cash.
There was Johnny Cash, George Jones, Roy Acuff, Kitty Wells, Loretta Lynn, Ernest Tubb, and others. Crowds of over 10,000 people attended on opening night, May of 1964, with Ralph Emery as the master of ceremonies.
Wow.
How about that? One of my favorite guys.
Ralph Emery. Yeah, me too. We grew up with Ralph.
It
morning show.
Yep.
It included a large hotel and an amphitheater surrounding a stage for performers. Terrytown was suddenly closed in September of 1966 when promoting and managing became too much for Gordon Terry. How about that?
Yeah.
Wow. So it didn't close before I was even born.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I was born, but just
You're a little feller.
a little feller.
Terrytown.
Little feller.
How about that?
Terrytown. Yeah, I mean.
Well, we sped things up, and we still got 10 minutes. I got one more picture in there, but you can flip through that and maybe talk about a few things.
Well, there's a picture. There's a picture of Michael Jeter. You remember him?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
very famous.
Absolutely.
From here in Lawrenceburg, movie actor. And gosh, there's all kinds of stuff in here.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, here's
if
a picture of Mayor Keith Durham in here. No, I'm just kidding.
I do have.
He pasted that in there, didn't he?
I do have a quote in there though.
Do you really?
Yeah, somewhere.
What's your quote?
I don't know, but you can go in the back and you can look up names. Like you can look up Hood, and it'll show you everywhere there's a Hood in that place in this book.
All right.
And so
people may not want to know that, but
yeah.
Anyway, there's the Old Jail Museum. Of course, we're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Some old pictures now of the square, and now here's a WOAN band.
Yeah, look how big that thing is.
They're a band.
Yeah.
What is a WOAN?
WOAN was a radio station.
Oh, radio station. Okay.
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
WOAN.
WOAN.
Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. The very first radio station in the state of Tennessee.
Lawrenceburg Square, 1923. So you had to have a live band for music on the radio.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in, yeah.
How about that?
They didn't have no computers to play their music back in, so.
Oh.
Or make their noises.
Yeah.
There's a picture of the old James D. Vaughn Publishing Company right there.
So page 107. There's a picture on page 107 that I want to see if you recognize.
Oh, my gosh.
So bottom right corner there.
Bottom right. Willie and Opal Durham
That's
family.
my Memo and Grandpa.
Oh, made the book, huh?
And that little boy standing up front there is my daddy. That's Joe Harvey.
Awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that?
So that's unbelievable. And that's my...
Well, there's a family resemblance there, buddy.
Isn't it? Well, I don't know about that. That is not the picture of Grandpa that I remember. My grandpa, the grandpa that I remember, he always wore a hat, a Stetson hat, and
how about that?
And stuff like that. But in that picture there, you see Charlene, Christine, and Charlene, and then Janet Lynn. And, Janet Lynn might not be in there. JW is, so you remember my Uncle JW at the bank? He's the baby sitting in Mama's lap.
I was going to say, that's got to be JW and the baby in the lap there.
Yeah, and he's smiling. You know, I don't never remember a day he wasn't laughing or smiling or trying to make somebody laugh.
He was already thinking up jokes.
Yeah, exactly. But this book has these family photos in there that you can look back at and see if there's any families you remember. Maybe you're even a part of it. I was astonished that my family was in there. That's pretty cool. My dad's in there.
That's amazing.
So, you know, my mom and grandpa lived a long time. For, you know, in my memory, you know, they, you know, I got to know my mom and grandpa real well. And,
oh, that's great.
So all my aunts and uncles and stuff like that. And now we went to a family reunion this Sunday, and Janet Lynn is the only one that's still alive. And it's sort of the first cousins family reunion now. So all of their kids is who gets together in the family reunion now. And so we always have a first cousins picture.
Oh.
And so, y'all do stuff like that or what? Or maybe not. But we got to go somewhere. We got to go to like Salem Church because like 60 plus of us show up. You know?
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a picture of the old Lawrenceburg Sanitarium and Hospital on the west side of Buffalo Road, 1932. Now, that building was there when I was growing up, and it was up until, I don't know how long ago. Of course, the county owns all that property now.
Right. But when did they tear it down?
I don't remember, but
Oh.
I didn't bring it up for this, but when it was Scott Hospital and they owned it all,
yeah,
I actually put the deal together to sell
Oh,
that
you
property. I sold that property to the county. That's amazing.
I'm telling you.
I can't believe it. And good morning, you're on Trading Post. I'm on Trading Post. You're on the Keith Durham Hour. I don't know what I'm saying.
All right, Jeff. There used to be a house going out of Lawrenceburg going north on the right that had a monkey chained out front.
Are you serious?
That house?
They had
a monkey chained out front.
Lanny, we need your help. We need Lanny's help on this.
Lanny might remember.
Yeah, wait, say that one more time.
There was a house, a brick house going north out of Lawrenceburg on the right that had a monkey chained out in front of their house.
Yeah, well, I think that's where Lanny grew up.
See if anybody knows who owns that house.
He was a little hairier back in.
All right, let me see. There's a phone call coming. Hey, good morning. You're on WDXE with us.
Jeff, the house he's talking about was Buddy Massey's house. Buddy Massey had the meanest monkey you have ever seen. It was kind of like a junkyard dog. Now, that monkey would attack you.
Wait a minute.
On the chain.
Lanny, are you serious? He had a monkey on the chain?
I'm serious as a heart attack.
So I can't picture where this house is.
Mean, boy.
Oh.
Whereabouts was this
house,
house, Lanny?
His driveway. I mean, you better go around, not get close to it. It'd hurt you.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah, I remember that thing.
Oh, man.
So describe where that house is.
Do you know? Tell me exactly where it was, Lanny.
Okay, it would be the house. Actually, it would be right that road that cuts at the Quick Mark up there, and Tractor Supply.
Okay.
It was right north of there, just a little bit. Is where the house was.
And it was a Massey.
Well, let me tell you where the house is. They moved the Massey house back in that field. It's a church now.
I know what you're talking
back
about.
Behind you. You know where I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The Elks Club back in there.
The big house that's been moved?
Yeah.
The big house, that house was moved back there.
That's a humongous house.
Okay. All right. Well, very good.
I had a monkey in front of it one time.
Holy cow.
They need a bigger yard for that monkey.
Well, what year was this?
Listen, I have a memory that I hope somebody can help me with. When I was a kid, we played putt-putt golf somewhere in town here.
Yeah.
And I was small, little. And there was an old gentleman that was there. And I don't know if he owned it or run it or whatever, but he was there, and he had a boxer bulldog. I remember this boxer bulldog because I took up with him and petted him. And the dog's name was Jake. and the dog, he had a radiator hose there about this long, and he'd put that radiator hose in that dog's mouth and he'd say, "Shake it, Jake." And Jake would shake it. It would hit him in the head when he did it. It would make the dog mad.
He'd shake it harder.
And the more he shook, the madder he would get. And there was a putt-putt golf course, a little putt-putt place that we played putt-putt somewhere. And I don't know.
It wasn't on the corner of Buffalo Road and West Gaines?
That's what I think. No.
That you're thinking? Yeah, I remember that place.
I was small. This was back many years ago.
It wasn't Rotary Park. Remember, they had putt-putt golf at Rotary Park.
Rotary Park, and the old man might have been there with his dog. I don't know. But I thought it was at somebody's house. The way I remembered it was like somebody's house.
When Patty Wall come to work at Rotary Park, everybody forgot about putt-putt. We was all up there painting owls or whatever she was selling. We were painting it.
I remember that. Yes.
You remember her?
Yes.
Painting all kinds of stuff.
Well, this is the Lawrence County, Tennessee Pictorial History Book.
Yeah.
And we've had some fun with this, but it's interesting. And did you say you think you could get these at the archives?
Yeah. So why don't you do this, Jeff? Why don't you take that book with you, and you can look at it as long as you want to.
Don't
but then you got to give it
responsible for this.
And then you're responsible to give it to Lanny to let him look at it.
All right, I'll do that. I'll take it to Lanny.
Did you ever find the quote in there from the mayor?
Nah, it's in there somewhere.
It's a pretty good one.
Is it?
It said, this is where he got his nickname from. It said, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. And that's where.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Well, I'm fixing to write it in there.
I forgot what
No,
context.
you got it wrong. You got it wrong. He said, I'm like butter.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm on a roll.
Oh.
I'm on a roll.
I thought it meant he was smooth like butter.
I'm like butter on a roll.
We got to get Lanny down here because
he's a wealth of knowledge.
I would rather him be here in person so we can just reminisce on that stuff.
Yeah. We need to have him and 2 or 3 more to just
that'd be a good time
to talk about.
And if anybody got a picture of that monkey, I'd see that.
I would.
I'd love to hear more stories about the monkey.
I'd never
heard that before.
I never did see it or know it, but I had a buddy who had a friend that had a monkey up in Etheridge, and that thing got mean and wild. He had to kill him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At the pet store over on, is it 3rd Street or 4th Street? They had George Osborne had a monkey in there, and he'd pull your hair when you walked by. He kept that thing caged up. Man, that was crazy.
I just don't want a pet monkey at all.
No.
Yeah, me either. I've seen people with them here recently.
Listen, I have Daniel.
Oh, yeah, there's people here.
Marlon Huntley's got one.
Who?
Marlon Huntley's got a monkey.
Does he?
Yeah.
He bring it to work with him?
I guess so. He does concrete now.
Yeah.
Monkey's just a fun name to say.
Yeah.
Monkey.
A monkey.
The funky monkey. Monkey.
It's good ice cream, too. Chunky
monkey. Chunky monkey.
Oh, my gosh.
We've run out of stuff to talk about.
Sing one monkey. Oh, my gosh. It's 9 o'clock. We've got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
We've got to wrap it up. But
so, want me to wrap it up?
Yeah, you wrap it up.
All right. So, when you're out and about today, come by Quick Mart convenience stores, and especially tomorrow, and buy a cupcake for every dollar that you donate. We donate $1. 100% match.
Enjoy it, fellas. Y'all have a great day.
Yep.
We'll see you next month.
See ya. You're right.
Just lying to New York voters about his past before the election. He's been indicted.